Hello, dear ones. Welcome to Gold Light Dark Sky. I am a psychic medium, empath, and light and shadow worker. I use my clairvoyance to channel messages that often come through in metaphorical and symbolic narratives, but they can be literal as well. I am a spiritual alchemist. I transmute the darkness into light. I trigger people to face their shadow. I've spent my entire life in spiritual warfare with dark energies, including narcissists and psychopaths. Through my healing journey, I've uncovered a psychic healing modality I call re-envisioning bifurcation to help those heal the psychic spiritual trauma that results from these entanglements. These collective readings are meant to be of support and guidance for light workers, empaths, angelics, and starseeds that are in need of connection, resilience, and hope to work through the soul test that we never fathomed we would have to endure. It is all for great purpose, though. To spiritually awaken to the true nature of our missions, to collectively expand and shift the consciousness, to reconnect with the core of our being, and to love, heal, and create as we strive towards this fulfillment. May these channeled messages be of guidance to you on your awakening path, and please remember to use your discernment. Do not force them to align. I love everyone. The first picture I'm seeing is a farmer. This is in the past. This is possibly a past life. I see him preparing for the day in the field. He has this old device that's it's like tilling the soil. And he's got like a large plot of land, but it's all in just a square. He doesn't have any other land outside of this square, and he just keeps going in the same pattern to till his soil. He's going from the outside to the inside. And it just keeps getting smaller. The square just keeps getting smaller. He grows nothing out of the soil. It's actually just turning the dirt over. He doesn't know why he does this. It's like it's the changing of the soil. He keeps looking up at the sun as it beats down on him. He's sweating. He doesn't understand the process. He looks out past his block of land and he wishes that he had more. And he feels that outside of this block, he could grow vegetables, he could grow crops. He grows something that's worth something to others. And he looks back at his land and he decides that he's just going to keep doing this in this same cycle. And he's praying for rain because he thinks that if rain comes, then his crops will grow. But he doesn't realize that he hasn't planted anything. He's missing the seeds. He's missing the point of his path that he's creating. What is the path representative of? He needs to change his direction within this block of land and within this square. It's not that the square is too small. It's that he's going from the wrong direction. He's going outside in instead of inside out. And he needs to change the angle in which he goes. He's fumbling with something on this tiller, this manual tiller that is really difficult for him to navigate and push. It requires a lot of strength, requires a lot of force in order to move it forward. He's changing the direction of the blades, and it's creating a new design in the soil itself. So there's 3 things that he has changed here. The pattern in which he was going, the angle in which he was driving this, and the angle of the blades. He's using less force and going slower. He's not pushing it as hard, and he's taking breaks. And every break he takes, he looks up at the sun and feels the heat. It represents to him a reflection of the work that he's accomplished, and it also reminds him to keep moving forward in with these different patterns. As he's doing this new pattern, a snake, it's a harmless snake. It's like a gardener snake, comes in to the center of his plot and just coils up and just sits there as he works around it. He's now looking at it not out of fear, but out of appreciation, reverence, because it's the first living thing that has come into his plot of land. And he starts moving the tiller the same way that a snake does. The same way a snake moves. It's like he's patterning around this movement. But there's this respect for the snake. What does the snake represent? It just represents an opening in his life for new beginnings, new life, new connections. And it was all based around his willingness to change. And there isn't an interaction between him and the snake. It's just a mutual respect. And it's an invitation from him for new life. What is his next step? After he completes the tilling of the soil, he's near the center and he grabs the snake. And in a respectful way, and he takes it outside of his block, his plot, into the grass, into vegetation, and releases it so it's not just in the center of his plot without any sustenance for its survival. And he watches it slither through the grass and go on its way. Hello, dear ones. Thank you for tuning in to this reading. This is the reflection section. To me, this reading had a strong sense of breaking cycles and changing your perspective on how to break those cycles. And I think as we learn on these paths towards ascension, towards our own spiritual growth, it's not always about how hard we work. It's also about co-creating and letting the signs and synchronicities and symbols help drive our paths. And when we get so wrapped up in the minutia, the details of our choices, there's this expectation that we're going to receive the abundance or prosperity of our hard work. But oftentimes we're just going around, and in this case, it was this in a square. And so he was being asked to change his direction, to change how he was perceiving the work, and how to take rests in order to receive the guidance for progress. And so he was taking all these different tactics in order to elicit the growth that he wanted to see, but it was outside of himself. The snake was a symbol for his connection to the movement that he needed in order to progress. This was representative of the way he was navigating his life, and that we need to be open to, what comes into our energy, into our sphere, and recognize whether or not it was a threat. I mean, it wasn't a rattlesnake that came in. It wasn't a poison, toxic energy. It was a reflective energy, even though it came in the form of a snake. The reading ended abruptly, which doesn't always happen to me. There's some outside things that happened that caused it to end right there. And I tend to linger a little bit, but that was meant to end right at that moment. I think as energy sensitive beings that we are, it's very crucial to pay attention to what energies we are allowing into our space. I think it's really challenging in order to discern those things. There's a lot of toxic energy that we must protect ourselves from, but also in this case, recognize when it's helpful, useful energy in order to teach us. And we're always being taught, but sometimes the teacher is not what you expect. We're often blinded by energies that come in, and that we try to grow without planting seeds, without having a foundation. I hope this reading was helpful, connected with all of you. If it didn't, if it was not resonant, please, use your judgment and discernment, and not take it with you. It was for someone else out there. I appreciate everyone tuning in to my channel and to my readings. I do things a little bit differently as a psychic, so appreciate all of you. Until next time. If you would like a personal reading, follow the links in the description to my website, where you can book a session and learn more about my practice.